In this video, we're gonna talking about how to geotag images using Ashot plus TeoboxBot and Teobox. Get right to it. First thing, to give you a little background, this is the way I have mounted my Ashot with Emlid Reach M plus. Custom built a 3D print mount for it. The way it looks, notice the antenna placed right over camera. The top bit behind the sensor. And a cable coming out. That's the reach. Power coming from the Ashot and the signal coming from the Ashot to the vents. Okay. Now, this is the way I kind of organize my data. These are the photos coming from the Phantom 4. And their geotag. Keep the folders the same as in the SD card. So notice I started at 938, went to 999, and DJI index all the photos from 1 to 1,999. Then I did 3 flights. I got a UBX file for each one of them. And I got my base station information in the Rhinex format. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is open a communication with TeoboxBot. Where I'm currently running version 2.2. First thing you need to do is to start a communication. First message should be /ppk. It will ask you, these are the options that you have. I'm going to use ppk with UBX drone. And probably ask you about the UBX file. And this will be for the rover, meaning this is the information you want to process. Not the base station, but the rover. Start with first flight I did. Select that. You can drag and drop. You can also drag and drop multiple, but for these video purposes, I'm just going to process one real quick. Now, this is the place that if you want to add another rover file, you can add, clicking attach, or you can click continue, move on with the next step, which will be base station. Go attach, and go find my base station. And this will take a little bit. It's 83.8 megabytes. And my internet is not that quick or fast, so I'm going to show you what the end result of these flights is. It's a property. The owner was concerned, mostly wanted to see how much ground we could take from the drone. This is a very, there's a lot of trees in this area, so there's a lot of woods that you can see. And I processed this data set using context capture. That's a product from Bentley. And yielded really good results. You can see there's a draw here, a draw of water here. There's another little draw, little river, putting out the property. A house. Now with this house, I went and flew a couple of vertical flights for photos. So I took photos from right above, center, down, and so forth. You can see there's a lot of detail captured with this flight, with this mission. I believe software did a very good job at capturing a lot of detail. Rather not perfect, but good enough to know where everything is at and draw a plan sheet from it. See a lot of detail there on the gutter, antenna, air conditioning, gas line, spigots going out, basement entrance. For the main flight, I use drone deploy in the 3D enhanced features. It did set up my targets best I could. Kind of a slim area. You can see the targets there. Kind of a strip. Tried to put some in the woods. You can see them there. Best I could. There's another one here. The target there. Overall, very good capture. See what's going on. Still uploading, as I said. My internet is not very fast, but we'll get there eventually. Now, next step will be to load our base station coordinate. And we can do this one or two ways. You can use Find PRJ bot that is offered by the guys of Teodrone, or we can use WGS84 as it comes from the. It depends on what your needs are, basically. In my case, I have my flat long ellipsoidal height. I also have my tape plane coordinates of that, my base station, which in my case, in the area, I just place my base station right in there. I was performing the flights. So my vectors are very short distance. There's not a lot of distance between the vectors, so our results should be pretty good. Even though there was a lot of woods in the area, and it wasn't the perfect day, GPS-wise, I think I got like about 73% fixed on the L1 antenna, which is pretty good in my opinion. So TeoboxBot is asking us about if you want to add another base station, or click continue. In my case, I'm going to click continue. And if you want to find a coordinate, you can start a message at. Just type in the at, and automatically will ask you the projection, or In my case, I'm going to use just WGS84. Now, it's asking you to write the base coordinate to the antenna face center, and that is for the base. So I'm going to go and find my base coordinate right in here. And I'm going to paste it in here. But we continue. Now, these are the settings you have to play with, depending on what do you really want or what do you believe is going to work best. In my case, I use GPS and GLONASS at 5 gigahertz by 5 megahertz, my bad, on my drone. So I'm going to keep it at 15% mask. In my experience, when you lower down to 10%, kind of give you false fixes. I'm going to keep it at 15% or 15 degrees mask, GPS and GLONASS. And I'm going to click PPK, or make PPK. And the bot is going to read RINET, the UBX, and is going to read the settings. Basically, it knows it's an L1 antenna. Now it's using base coordinate I typed in for my base station. Downloaded the NAV files from the UBX, and it's using the settings I put in: GLONASS and GPS satellites, and a 15-degree mask, elevation mask. Oh, it read the file. The UBX, it found 245 time marks. It was fixed at 85%, floating 14%, which is not great. But in the area I was, with the day it was, I believe this is a successful flight. And as you saw, the result tells you a story. So just reading that text file, these are all the time marks. And you can see when to float, when it went to the woods. And it regained yes, fix once after. And I'm not too worried about this, just because I have ground control. But if you don't have ground control, that's something to be very worried about. Okay, so that is it. I have my results. We're done with Teobox PPK bot. Now we go to Teobox. Currently, I'm running Teobox 1.8.7, which is, I believe, the latest release. First thing I want to do is to my settings, and I'm gonna keep this the way it is. You're gonna process with Pix4D and toggle this on. Not untoggle it. In my case, I'm gonna process in context capture, so I don't need the label. I process this data in Pix4D myself, and the wood area wasn't that great, so it captured the house very well, the property, everything that was clean. But once it went to the wood area, kind of did a very poor job. Didn't matter which settings I used. So keep in mind on that, on the product you're using. Next thing I'm gonna do is, this is very critical. Your antenna positioning calculations. I have my distance from the base of the antenna to the sensor is negative 204 millimeters, 20 centimeters, and my antenna is placed right in top of the sensor. So I calculated 16 millimeters from the center of the drone. Since I'm going to be using lat and long, and keep in mind, if you're using your coordinate system, this will be your best bet. But if you're using lat and long like I am, make sure that you change that to lat and long and apply. I keep these the same. Okay. I'm going to add the photos. Select my first folder. And come to the second folder. I'm very, very careful with the times. Oh, this was 10, 15, 11. Notice there's a change of battery here. What is the name of the number of photos? 245 photos. Now I'm gonna go get my time mark file. Should be under. I have to move them, but should be under my downloads folder. And this is set up on the Teobot on the Telegram. Telegram desktop. Number 1, 707. Okay, and then this is what we're dealing with. We got the date. Should be under second row. See, when I move this, you move the row, the appropriate label. Got latitude, longitude, height. I got the difference in northing, easting, and height on the 8th, 9th, and 10th row. After we're going to click OK. Once we corroborate that our data is okay, if we move this, it will start our first row, wherever we put that. Notice we can move our first row here. In my case, I'm going to start from row number 1. I click OK. Now, notice green color around. That means that we have the same amount of photos and we have time marks. Okay. Back. Okay. Oh, we're green. We're good. It's output preview. This is what is going to be written to the exif file. What we have left is browse to the folder where we want to put the data. I'm going to put it on my main folder here, on my project. I'm going to use 2 gigabytes, almost 2 gigabytes. And I'm going to put a prefix on my photos. You can put whatever you want in there. You can put DJI, whatever you feel like. It doesn't really matter. Basically, where that matters is on the processing side on your software. So it went ahead and started processing photos and the time marks. You can choose to process only the photos or only the time marks. It's up to you. The software is built for that. gonna wait. So what it did is create a subfolder. We'll have today's date, and I'm gonna create a time mark file. Have the photo number, name, longitude, latitude, and height. Very worried about this. The order of where your coordinates are typed in or are written. You don't make mistakes in your processing software when you bring this file in if you need to. Okay, 90%, we're almost done. Once this empties up, tell you what it did. Process and copied and processed 245 files. And that's as easy as it gets. The photos now have the good geotag photo information from the Emlid Reach M Plus using the Ashot. On the Phantom 4 Advanced in this case, but it works very well in Phantom 4 Pro. And that's all I got. I hope you guys liked this short video on how to geotag images using the Ashot, Teoboxbot and Teobox. And shoot me email or text on Telegram if you guys have any question. I will be happy to answer. See you guys later, and have a good night.